How important is communication in the world that we live in today? Communication is at the core of almost all human activity. How we communicate influences the jobs that we have, the relationships that we hold, and the amount of social interaction that we take part in. Using the textbook, I closely examined and picked apart these communication models for a number of hours. I've created a hybrid model of sorts that can be used in forms of communication like face-to-face communication, text messaging, and telephone communication, as well as be used in a variety of settings, from a face-to-face conversation between two people to a speech or interview in front of thousands. The creation of the model was by taking aspects of the interactive model and the transactional model and merging them, as well as adding in some of my own logic and flair. This is how I constructed the communication model. I constructed it using the interactive model. I took the encoding and decoding of the message as well as message and feedback channels. I took those two ideas because the encoding of a meaning as well as the decoding of it is necessary for all communication. Feedback channels are necessary because there will always be some type of feedback, whether it be verbal or nonverbal, when someone is given a message. When creating the model, I also took aspects of the transactional model that I felt were pivotal to displaying communication between humans. I incorporated the aspect of co-creation of meaning, yet formed it into what I feel is a much better way of seeing it. I added this aspect because people are shaped by their experiences, culture, and the context as a message is relayed in. My communication model is set up much like the interactive model in the aspect that there are two communicators that are simultaneously encoders and decoders. There's a message channel in which a comment is sent through. Before reaching the person, the message must go through a figurative membrane filled with the recipient's creation of meaning, which is shaped by their experience, culture, language, the context, and etc., and then decoded by said person. Since every person has their own diverse views and opinions, that membrane has the potential to cause the initial message to be decoded differently when dealing with different people. The former recipient then encodes their own message and sends it back to the original speaker via the feedback channel, and as it goes through the creation of meaning membrane, it is decoded, and the process continues to circulate until a conclusion is drawn or the conversation is ended. So how can we use this communication model in the real world? Well, the model that I created allows a lot of flexibility dealing with different settings and contexts. The model is just as effective in a one-on-one conversation as it is in a meeting, or even when two or more friends are texting. In one-on-one conversation, the conversation initiator can ask a friend, "How are you?" And the message would easily be sent through the membrane of creation of meaning, since it is so straightforward, and the message would be decoded as the initiator wanting to know how the recipient is doing. The response of "I'm doing fine" would be sent through the feedback channel, and all would be said and done. The model can also be used in a meeting or group discussion in which there are more people, thus meaning that there will be more diverse replies to a statement of questions sent via the message channel, since each unique membrane of creation of meaning allows to decode the message differently. An example of this would be a politician talking to a crowd of people. He makes the comment, "We can offer more inclusive health care." The message goes through one of the audience members' membrane of creation of meaning, and it is decoded as something helpful. They respond, "That's great, because my grandmother has very bad eyesight and she was forced to quit her job. Therefore, she doesn't have enough money to pay for her surgery." However, the message could go back through another person's creation of meaning membrane, one that's been taught that these kind of things are bad, which they reply something like, "We don't need people to freeload off of us. They should work so they can afford insurance." This is when the message is decoded by the speaker, and they respond saying, "Everyone's situation is different." The model can also be used in text messaging conversations. Text lingo can be decoded different ways according to the personality of the person and the context of the situation. For example, a person can send K in place of OK, and one person may see it as rude while another may not. Another example would be some people see LOL as standing for lots of laughter, and others believe that it means laugh out loud. No matter what the situation, the receiver encodes a message based on their creation of meaning, and the recipient decodes it based on theirs. All in all, there are many forms of communication, and each model helps people to understand the main components of it. Through the model that I formulated, people were able to see how the message is decoded, sent, and decoded based on the outlook of the person has on life and the meaning that they apply to those words. Communication is the key to human life as we know it, no matter what the form of that communication is. With a little bit of effort, we can learn better ways to communicate with people with different worldviews, languages, and cultures, and help the world progress one conversation at a time.